Okay, so that deal, according to Over the Cap, the deal that sent DJ Moore from Chicago to Buffalo frees up $16.5 million in cap room for the Bears. That brings the Bears cap total. Now they've got $1.399 million, which is 23rd in the league. Still more than the Lions, who are $4 million over the cap, $4.8 million over the cap as we speak. Everybody's got restructurings that they can do. If could this be a move to free up cap space to do something big? And our Armageddon, oh God, not him scenario is not their scenario, is Max Crosby to the Bears. Would that be the offseason news that would be most depressing? Is that the Bears found a way to get it done?
Yeah, Bears getting a deal with Max Crosby, sure. Yeah. I don't, by all accounts, don't the Raiders want to get a player and draft capital in return? Mm-hmm. And if the Bears just traded away a wide receiver, does that kind of take away that player?
Takes away one of those players.
Yeah. If I were the Bears, and I'm freeing up this kind of cap space, I'd probably rather do it through free agency than making a trade to give up the draft capital on a player.
You mean I'm sorry, if you're trying to free up
center, they just lost a center to retirement.
Mm-hmm.
This could also be a nightmare scenario if the Bears get Tyler Linderbaum.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it could. I mean, but they don't have any cap space either. Like, I know,
but they can free it up like every other team.
They can free it up like every other team can free it up. They aren't going to get Linderbaum and Max Crosby, but they could get Linderbaum. It just depends how motivated and how much cap space they can create.
Here's Albert Breer's tweet from inside a minute ago. Meanwhile, the Bears have cleared a bunch of cap room this week with Drew Dahlman retiring and DJ Moore traded. We'd mentioned earlier that they've shown some interest in Tyler Linderbaum and Max Crosby. Stay tuned.
Okay, well,
which would concern you guys more?
I think it's if they got the center, because I would expect year to year that Caleb Williams is going to get better. If he's got the best center in the league, one of the best centers in the league now, if that happens, that makes that Bears offense that much more potent, and that scares me more than adding
plus
an edge rusher.
To get Crosby, they have to cut into assets. They wouldn't have their pick at 20, whatever it is. They wouldn't have a first-round pick next year, and they'd probably be missing a player if that is the cost. So it's probably Linderbaum. Although Crosby, I mean, that would suck too.
Either way,
I still think the Bears, they got a lot of work to do. So do the Lions. And you know what the Bears have done? Like, the Bears actually did go out and give them congratulations. They earned it, and they won the division, and they hosted playoff games and got it. Yep, very, very impressive, Chicago. But I am used to, like, the last 5 years, the Bears seem to always win the offseason. And this is the first time it really produced something. So, maybe they'll win the offseason again. It hasn't always equated to wins for Chicago. In fact, they've been consistently a last place team until this year. And I guess that matters more than what they were 2, 3, 4 years ago. But 248-539-9797. Let's go to Keith. You're on 97.1. Hi, Keith.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm saying Detroit teams, right? Not just the Lions, but Detroit teams, they do nothing in offseason. They stay
hold on. What did the Tigers just do?
Okay, but Tigers, yeah, okay. But they should have did that last year. They don't wait till this year to do it. They should have did it last year. What was the problem? You had just as good a chance last year to make it to the championship than you do now.
Well, Keith, I guess, there's many of the leagues have caps, which Tigers don't. But so you could make a case that they should have been more aggressive in the past. But in the leagues with salary caps, it's not as easy as just going to do something. You have to make sure it's smart and it makes sense and you can afford it.
I'm not saying that. I agree. I totally agree. But if you Brad Holmes, you're supposed to be one of the smartest men on the block, you could have been figured that out. Everybody, see, this is what Brad Holmes is going to say. This is what's going to happen. He's going to wait till the last minute, then fill some money. By the time he fills the money, all the people we really thought we could get going to be gone. And his excuse going to be,
let's see. I mean, I got to tell you, let's see. He's done a great job of building the roster up. It hasn't been good enough. If if he doesn't want to spend, I mean, there's a cap. That's the issue. And so you want him to spend money, and they have spent money. They've spent money to keep their good players. And you could say, oh, I wish they would have done something else. If they never win a Super Bowl, okay, then you're going to be right. But if they're also going to stay competitive here for quite some time because they're locking up Penei Sewell, and they're going to lock up Jahmyr Gibbs. They've locked up Amon-Ra St. Brown. These are elite players at their position. So, okay. Yesterday we had that story about Tate Ratledge. An agent out there thinks that the Lions are just going to try and fix the center position from in-house, and he thinks they're going to put Tate Ratledge at center. Colton Pouncey put together some notes from the Combine, and he wrote the following. As free agency approaches, I get the sense the Lions will aim to fill their center void here. I wouldn't rule one out in April, especially after picking up a fourth rounder in the Montgomery trade, but you never want to enter a draft with a need as obvious as center. Not after our last season unfolded. Should be several intriguing options. Baltimore Ravens center Tyler Linderbaum will top everyone's list, of course, but how realistically is he for the Lions when word out of Indy is that Linderbaum could command $22 million annually? If the Lions don't go all in for Linderbaum, Connor McGovern, Tyler Biadasz, and Cade Mays could be options. And then he writes, Biadasz in particular makes a lot of sense. When an insider kind of gets pointed like that, I wonder if they know something. So I'm going to keep my eye open for Tyler Biadasz as a possible who was just cut by the Commanders.
Is he allowed to talk to teams early?
Who?
I thought I saw Biadasz. I thought I saw some kind of report that he was already like talking with the Bears or something like that. Which seems,
I believe he is because the way he was released.
Just seems strange, but
yeah, the Bears apparently had something scheduled with him.
Well, let's see what it says here.
I mean, any of those guys, sure. Just give me an upgrade over what we had, and somebody who's more than competent. Hopefully, it's a top half of the league center, and let's go.
So, because he got cut and he's not an expiring contract, those things are different, right? I think that's why they can, because he was recently released and he is available now before the frenzy begins. Interesting, though. I mean, how would you feel if Tyler Biadasz was the center?
I feel great about it because he'd be an upgrade. I don't know if Tyler Biadasz is a great center, but I think he'd definitely be better than what we had last year.
Yeah, that's one of the things you got to keep in mind is that how much do you need to improve that spot to get the offense back to looking the way it did? He did go on to mention that there'd be centers available as day 2 options in the draft if they want to go that direction. The first name he mentioned was Florida's Jake Slaughter.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that name?
Florida's Jake Slaughter, which Kang talked about back in November, I believe, in a blitz thingy, which would be your earliest call ever.
I'm just heaving them from half court now, guys. If one goes in, again.
God, you're like the Bulls mascot.
But more importantly, yeah, that might have been overhead too.
Backwards half court shots.
He did hit 3 in a row, right? This would be
He did hit 3 in a row. But
with a mascot uniform.
More importantly, this is in direct contrast to the Tate Ratledge thing, which I really can't believe is the plan.
I don't think Tate Ratledge to center is the plan. I think it's a possibility.
Yep.
But I feel like that's something that you'd have to have lots of work and practice and workouts to understand if that's even real. I mean, and they're not going to have any of that until after the draft. So it doesn't seem like it's productive.
All right, after spending the week at the Combine, Colton Pouncey listed on The Athletic a bunch of players that he thinks fits the Lions profile and would be possibilities at 17. We'll give you who that pool of players is today at 12:16 here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.